Most of what you've been told about multitasking is a complete lie. You probably think that juggling 3 screens, answering emails, and listening to a podcast makes you a high performer. But the truth is, your brain is fundamentally incapable of processing multiple high-level cognitive tasks simultaneously. What you are actually doing is rapid context switching. Every time you shift your attention from a spreadsheet to a notification, you leave an invisible residue of attention behind on the previous task. And in just a few seconds, I'll show you exactly how this hidden residue is literally shrinking your brain's gray matter. This invisible tax on your cognition means that doing 2 things at once doesn't take half the time, it actually takes twice as long, and you make 3 times as many mistakes. Let's decode the neuroscience of why focus is your most endangered asset.
To understand why multitasking destroys your focus, we need to look at the prefrontal cortex, the control center for your attention. Think of it as a bouncer at an exclusive club. It can only let one thought process through the door at a time. When you force it to switch rapidly between tasks, it has to constantly pause, disengage from the previous rules, and re-engage with new ones. This mechanical friction burns massive amounts of oxygenated glucose. But what happens when that biological fuel runs out? Your brain enters a state of cognitive depletion. You start experiencing severe decision fatigue, irritability, and a massive drop in creative problem solving. It's not just a drop in efficiency, it's a biochemical drain. The myth of multitasking is a trap designed by our modern environment, and recognizing it is the first step to reclaiming your attention span.
Every time you check your phone while working, your brain rewards you with a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels productive, but it's a biochemical illusion. You are training your neural pathways to crave constant interruption. This creates a loop where sustained focus actually begins to feel physically uncomfortable. Your brain starts treating deep work as a literal threat to its steady dopamine supply. But how long does it actually take to recover your focus after just one quick glance at a notification? Studies show it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to your original level of deep concentration after a minor distraction. If you check your phone just 3 times an hour, you are mathematically guaranteeing that you will never reach a state of peak cognitive flow. Some people claim they are the exception, proud, efficient multitaskers who can juggle it all. Science politely disagrees. Research indicates that heavy multitaskers are actually significantly worse at filtering out irrelevant information. They suffer from something called continuous partial attention, a baseline state where the brain is constantly scanning the environment for new stimuli, but never fully engaging with any of it. The good news? You can reverse this brain damage, and the recovery process starts with a shockingly simple 2-minute habit. By implementing forced single-tasking windows, you slowly rebuild your attention span. It's essentially physical therapy for your prefrontal cortex. You must deliberately starve the brain of cheap digital dopamine to recalibrate its baseline. It won't be comfortable at first, but the resulting mental clarity is absolute power. Have you ever reached the end of a chaotic workday feeling completely exhausted, yet realizing you accomplished absolutely nothing of actual value? This phenomenon is known as the switch cost effect. Every time you toggle between writing an email and checking a project dashboard, your brain has to load a completely different cognitive context into your working memory. It is the neurological equivalent of rebooting a computer over and over. But what exactly is happening to your IQ during these frantic moments of switching? A fascinating study from the University of London found that participants who multitask during cognitive tasks experienced IQ score declines similar to individuals who had stayed awake all night. Yes, juggling tasks temporarily drops your functional intelligence to the level of someone who is sleep-deprived. You are literally making yourself temporarily less intelligent in the pursuit of false efficiency. The corporate world has glorified this chaotic behavior, wearing multitasking as a badge of honor. But true high performers operate on a completely different framework. They understand the unmatched power of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is the only state where true innovation and high-level problem-solving occur. But because your brain is currently wired for constant dopamine hits, deep work will feel agonizing at first. However, the secret to surviving this discomfort lies in a technique called progressive cognitive loading. Start by setting a timer for just 20 minutes. Shut down every single tab. Put your phone in another room and stare at the one single task in front of you. If you feel the urge to check a notification, just sit with the discomfort. You are actively repairing neural circuits. It's time to confront the most dangerous myth of all, the belief that you are the one exception. You might think you can seamlessly text, work, and watch a video simultaneously, but neuroimaging scans reveal a harsh reality. When you multitask, your brain isn't working harder on all fronts, it's aggressively shunting blood away from the deep thinking centers and flooding the reactive primitive areas. You are training yourself to be highly responsive to noise, but completely blind to nuance. So how long does it take for this constant switching to permanently alter your brain's physical structure? Studies on chronic media multitaskers show reduced gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex. That is the exact region responsible for empathy, emotional regulation, and high-level decision-making. You are not just losing time, you are systematically dismantling your biological capacity to process complex thoughts.
Fortunately, neuroplasticity works both ways. You can rebuild your shattered attention span, but it requires treating focus as a muscle that has severely atrophied. You cannot go from chronic multitasking to a 4-hour deep work session overnight. You must practice active single tasking. Choose one specific demanding task. Put your phone in a completely different room. Close every browser tab except the one you strictly need. Set a timer for 25 minutes. What happens in your brain during this isolated window will fundamentally change your productivity. As you push through the initial wave of digital withdrawal, your prefrontal cortex finally stabilizes. It stops burning glucose on context switching and channels all its metabolic energy into deep comprehension. Stop wearing multitasking as a badge of honor. Reclaim your focus, protect your cognitive bandwidth, and watch your true potential unlock. So, I have to ask, what do you think? Are you guilty of being a chronic multitasker, or have you already mastered the art of single tasking? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. If this video helped you understand why your focus has been slipping, hit the like button, share it with a friend who always has 50 tabs open, and make sure to press that subscribe button and click the bell for more mind-bending science. Keep your focus sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.